The pain was white-hot, radiating from my left forearm like fire-licking bone. I cradled it against my chest, tears blurring the screen of my phone as I stumbled into my tiny studio apartment and slammed the door shut with my foot. My ex-boyfriend, Minho, had finally snapped tonight. One too many jealous accusations, one too many drinks, and he'd grabbed my arm so hard I felt the snap before I heard it. I needed help. My best friend June was a nurse. She'd know what to do until I could get to a hospital. With shaking fingers, I typed the message as fast as I could. Asterisk, he broke my arm. I'm home. Please come quick. Doors unlocked. Asterisk. I hit send without double-checking the number. In my panic, the last digit looked right through tear-filled eyes. Then I collapsed onto the couch, biting down on a pillow to muffle the sobs. My phone buzzed almost immediately. Unknown number. Address? I blinked. Jiyoon usually replied with frantic voice notes or heart emojis. This was cold, jerked. Me? Who is this? Unknown. Asterisk, you texted me. You said he broke your arm. Give me your address. Now. Asterisk. A chill ran down my spine that had nothing to do with the pain. This wasn't Jiyoon. I'd sent it to the wrong number. I stared at the chat in horror. The contact I'd meant to message was Jiyoon. This one was just a random string of numbers I'd apparently saved months ago under delivery guy from some late-night Jajangmyeon order I'd forgotten about. Before I could type an apology or block the number, another message came through. Unknown. Asterisk, I'm tracing the number. Don't hang up. Don't move. Asterisk. What the hell? My heart hammered. I should call the police. I should call an ambulance. Instead, I sat frozen, cradling my swelling arm. 20 minutes later, 20 agonizing minutes where every second felt like an hour, there was a knock at my door. From 3 knocks. Not frantic like Jiyoon would do. I didn't move. The knock came again, harder. Open the door, a deep voice said from the hallway. Authoritative. Korean, but with a faint accent that suggested years spent abroad. I whimpered. Who are you? You texted me, the voice replied simply. Said someone broke your arm. Oh God. I sent that to the wrong person, I called out, voice trembling. I'm sorry. You can go. Silence. Then, I'm not leaving until I see you're safe. Something in his tone, not threatening but absolute, made me believe him. Against every rational instinct, I dragged myself to the door and cracked it open with my good hand. The man standing there was not what I expected. Impossibly tall. Dressed in a tailored black coat over a dark suit, even at this late hour. His hair was slicked back, sharp jawline catching the dim hallway light. A faint scar ran through his left eyebrow, giving his otherwise perfect face a dangerous edge. And his eyes, dark, intense, scanning me like he was cataloging every injury. He looked like he belonged on a billboard. Or in a gangster movie. His gaze dropped immediately to my arm, which was already bruising purple and swelling grotesquely. Who did this? He asked quietly. My ex, I whispered, suddenly ashamed. It was an accident. It's not an accident, he cut in, voice like steel. May I come in? I should have said no. I should have slammed the door. Instead, I stepped aside. He entered without hesitation, closing the door softly behind him. The apartment suddenly felt smaller with him in it. Sit, he ordered, nodding to the couch. I obeyed like a puppet. He shrugged off his coat, revealing a crisp white shirt with sleeves rolled up to his elbows, exposing inked forearms, intricate traditional patterns that disappeared under fabric. Yakuza? No, the style was Korean. Hanbok-inspired dragons and tigers. He knelt in front of me, surprisingly gentle as he examined my arm without touching the break. Compound fracture, probably, he murmured. We need to get you to a hospital. We? I echoed weakly. He met my eyes. My name is Kong Tae-jun. You texted me by mistake, but now I'm involved. Why would you? Because no one gets to hurt women like this in my city, he said simply. Not while I'm breathing. There was something terrifying about how casually he said it, like it was fact. But my phone buzzed on the couch beside me. A new message from June. Asterisk girl, what the hell? Who is this hot guy carrying you out of your apartment? I'm outside and asterisk. I looked up in panic. Taejun was already sliding his arms under me, lifting me effortlessly despite my protests. Wait. No waiting. Hospital now. Then we deal with the man who did this. His driver was waiting downstairs in a black Genesis. The kind of car that cost more than my annual salary. Jiun stood gaping on the sidewalk as Taejun carried me past her. Call you later. I yelped. She mouthed, asterisk, who is that? As the car pulled away, Taejun spoke to the driver in low, rapid Korean. Something about cleaners and an address I recognized with a sinking heart, Minho's apartment. What are you doing? I asked, fear creeping in. He looked at me, expression unreadable. Making sure he never touches you again. You're scaring me. Good, he said softly. You should be scared of men who break women's arms. Not the ones who fix the problem. I swallowed hard. Who are you really? He was quiet for a long moment as the city lights blurred past. Someone who doesn't like loose ends, he finally said. And tonight, you became my loose end. The hospital staff jumped when we arrived. No waiting in the ER for Kang Taejun. Doctors appeared instantly, whisking me away for x-rays and casting while he waited in the private room they'd apparently assigned me. When I came back with my arm in a proper splint and heavy pain meds starting to kick in, he was standing by the window on the phone. Tell Minho that if he ever comes near her again, he'll lose more than the use of his hands. He ended the call as I entered. Better? He asked. I nodded numbly. Good. He pulled a business card from his wallet and placed it on the bedside table. Plain black card, silver lettering. Kang Taejun, Chairman, Obsidian Group. Obsidian Group. Everyone in Seoul knew that name. Imports/exports. Real estate. Nightclubs. And rumors. Lots of rumors. I couldn't finish. Yes, he said simply. And now you know. Why help me? He studied me for a long moment. Because sometimes, he said quietly, even monsters recognize when someone's been hurt worse than they deserve. He turned to leave. Wait, I called. Your number. I should delete it. This was a mistake. He paused at the door. Keep it, he said without turning around. Mistakes have a way of becoming fate. Then he was gone. I stared at the black card long after the pain meds pulled me under. Little did I know, this was only the beginning. I was discharged the next morning with a fiberglass cast, a bottle of painkillers, and strict instructions to rest for 6 weeks. June picked me up from the hospital, her eyes wide the entire cab ride home as she bombarded me with questions. Start from the beginning, she demanded, clutching my good hand. Who was tall, dark, and terrifying? And why did the nurses treat him like royalty? I told her everything. The wrong text, the immediate response, the way Kang Taejun showed up like some avenging shadow. By the time we reached my apartment, her mouth was hanging open. Kang Taejun? As in Obsidian Group Kang Taejun. She lowered her voice to a dramatic whisper. The one they call Black Dragon in the tabloids? Seo-yun, he's not just Mafia, he basically runs half the underground in Seoul. I know that now, I muttered, unlocking my door with one hand. I googled him in the hospital. There are no photos, just rumors. Triad connections, smuggling, underground casinos. How did I accidentally text a crime lord? Jun followed me inside, kicking off her shoes. And he personally carried you to the car? Girl, this is drama-level stuff. I sank onto the couch, exhausted. He said Minho would never touch me again. What does that even mean? Jiun's face paled. It means you need to stay far away from both of them. But staying away proved impossible. That afternoon, while Jiun was in the kitchen making ramyun, my phone buzzed with a new message from an unknown number. Unknown, how's the arm? I stared at the screen. Only one person would ask that. Me? Who is this? Unknown. You know who. A second later, a photo came through, my own apartment building from street level, taken minutes ago. The timestamp proved it. My stomach dropped. Me? Are you watching me? Kang Taejun. Asterisk, making sure you're safe. Your friend is there. Good. Asterisk. Me? Asterisk this is creepy. Stop. Asterisk. Kong Tae-jun. Asterisk I don't do things halfway. I'll check in later. Asterisk. I showed June the chat. She read it twice, then grabbed her phone and started searching his name again. There's a reason no one testifies against him, she said quietly. People who cross obsidian tend to disappear. Or worse, reappear with very polite apologies. I shivered. I didn't ask for his help. But you got it. And men like him don't give favors for free. That evening, after June left, reluctantly, promising to call every hour, there was a knock at my door. I froze. Through the peephole, 2 men in black suits, one holding a large paper bag, the other a bouquet of white lilies so big it hid half his body. I cracked the door on the chain. Yes. The taller one bowed slightly. Delivery for Miss Seo-yun, courtesy of Chairman Kong. I hesitated, then unchained the door. They entered efficiently, placing the bag on my coffee table and the flowers in a vase they apparently brought with them. Then they bowed again and left without a word. Inside the bag, expensive-looking meal containers from a Michelin-starred restaurant, samjitang, premium hanwoo cuts, side dishes I couldn't pronounce. Enough for several days. There was also a sleek black credit card with my name embossed on it and a note in precise handwriting. Asterisk use this for anything you need. Groceries, medication, new locks if you want them. No limit. KJ asterisk. My hands shook as I set the card down like it was radioactive. Another knock 20 minutes later. This time, a woman in a tailored pantsuit. Mid-30s, sharp eyes, hair in a severe bun. Miss Seo, she said with a polite smile. I'm Park Min-ji, Chairman Kang's personal physician. He asked me to check your cast and vitals. I already saw a doctor this morning. He prefers his own. She stepped inside before I could protest, carrying a medical bag. It'll only take 10 minutes. She was thorough, checked my blood pressure, examined the swelling, adjusted the sling, and left new pain medication that definitely wasn't over the counter. As she packed up, she paused. The chairman also asked me to inform you that your ex-boyfriend has left Seoul. Indefinitely. My throat went dry. What did he do to him? Minji's smile didn't waver. Nothing permanent. A strong suggestion was made. She left as quietly as she'd arrived. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every creak of the building made me jump. At 2 a.m., I caved and texted the number I swore I'd delete. Me? Why are you doing this? The reply came in seconds. Kong Tae-jun, can't sleep? Me? Answer the question. Kong Tae-jun. Asterisk because I can. Because no one else will. Because when I saw your arm, something in me snapped. Asterisk. Me? You don't even know me. Kong Tae-jun. Asterisk I know enough. I know you work at the publishing house in Gangnam. I know you like iced Americano with 2 shots and no sugar. I know you've been paying your mother's medical bills alone for 3 years. Asterisk. I stared at the screen in horror. Me? Asterisk stop investigating me. This is too much. Asterisk. Kong Tae-jun. Asterisk it's not investigation. It's protection. Asterisk. Me? I don't want your protection. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Kong Tae-jun. You'll change your mind when he comes back. Me? You said he left Seoul. Kong Tae-jun. Asterisk men like him always crawl back. When he does, I'll be waiting. Asterisk. I turned off my phone and buried it under a pillow. The next day, I tried to return to normal. Called in sick to work, ignored the black card, threw out the flowers, they reminded me too much of funerals. But normal was gone. At noon, another delivery, a brand new smartphone, top of the line, already set up with my data transferred. A note, asterisk your old phone isn't secure. Use this, asterisk. By evening, I was pacing my tiny apartment like a caged animal. Then my doorbell rang again. This time, when I looked through the peephole, my blood ran cold. Minho stood there, face swollen and bruised, one eye nearly shut. His right hand was in a cast. Seo-yun, he called, voice shaky. Please. Open the door. I need to talk to you. I backed away, heart pounding. I'm sorry, he continued louder. I was drunk. I didn't mean it. Those guys, they broke my hand. Said if I ever come near you again, next time it's my legs. I stayed silent. Please, baby. I love you. Just let me in. My fingers trembled as I grabbed the new phone. Before I could think, I opened the chat with Kong Tae-jun. Me, asterisk, he's here. At my door, asterisk. The reply was instant. Kong Tae-jun, asterisk, don't open it. I'm 2 minutes away, asterisk. 2 minutes. I pressed myself against the wall, listening to Minho beg and cry and promise he'd change. Exactly 2 minutes later, the begging stopped abruptly. There was a muffled thud, then silence. I crept to the peephole. Kong Tae-jun stood in the hallway, immaculate in a charcoal suit, one hand casually in his pocket. Minho was on the floor, unconscious, 2 of Tae-jun's men already dragging him away. Tae-jun looked directly into the peephole, as if he knew I was watching. He raised his phone. Kong Tae-jun, open the door. I did. He stepped inside, closing it softly behind him. This was only the second time I'd seen him in person, but he felt even more overwhelming up close. You came yourself, I whispered. I said I'd handle it. His eyes scanned me. He didn't get in? I shook my head. Good. He glanced around my apartment, taking in the untouched food containers, the dead flowers in the trash. You're not eating. I'm not hungry. He sighed, the first human sound I'd heard from him. You can't fight me on this forever. I don't want to owe you. You don't owe me anything. He stepped closer, voice dropping. But you will let me keep you safe. That's non-negotiable now. Why? I challenged, meeting his gaze. Why me? For the first time, something flickered across his perfect face. Not softness, exactly, but close. Because, he said quietly, the moment you texted me, you stopped being invisible. And I don't let mine get hurt. Yours. The word hung between us like smoke. I didn't know whether to run or lean into the danger standing in my living room. But one thing was clear, Kong Tae-jun wasn't leaving. And neither was I. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Kong Tae-jun standing in my hallway, calm as winter, while 2 men dragged my unconscious ex away like trash. I saw the way he'd looked straight into the peephole, straight into me, and said open the door like it was the most natural thing in the world. By morning, I was a wreck. Cast itching, head pounding, stomach empty because I still couldn't touch the food he'd sent. I finally dragged myself to the shower, letting hot water run over me until the mirror fogged and my fingers pruned. When I stepped out, towel wrapped around me, my new phone was buzzing on the counter. I'd left it in the living room. Somehow it had migrated. Kong Tae-jun, asterisk, breakfast is outside your door. Eat, asterisk. I yanked on clothes, one-handed, cursing, and cracked the door. A insulated delivery bag sat on the mat, still warm. Inside, fresh croissant, fruit cup, iced Americano with exactly 2 shots, no sugar. My order from the cafe near my office. He really had been watching me for longer than I thought. I ate standing up at the kitchen counter, hating how good it tasted. Another buzz. Kong Tae-jun, asterisk good. Dr. Park will come at noon to recheck the cast. After that, you're coming with me, asterisk. Me? Coming with you where? Kong Tae-jun, asterisk, somewhere safe. Your apartment isn't secure enough, asterisk. Me? I'm not leaving my home because you say so. Kong Tae-jun, asterisk, you'll leave because Minho wasn't alone last night. He had 2 friends waiting in a car downstairs. They ran when my men arrived, but they'll be back. With worse intentions, asterisk. Ice slid down my spine. Me? Police then. Kong Tae-jun, asterisk, police can't protect you 24/7. I can, asterisk. I stared at the screen until it dimmed. He wasn't asking. At noon sharp, Dr. Park arrived again, efficient and polite as before. She changed the dressing, confirmed no infection, then handed me a small black envelope. Chairman Kong asked me to give you this personally. Inside, a single keycard, matte black with a silver dragon emblem and a folded note. Asterisk, car will be downstairs at 3 p.m. pack light. You won't need much, asterisk. I wanted to throw it away. Instead, I packed a duffel bag with shaky hands, laptop, charger, A few changes of clothes, toiletries. I told myself it was just for a night or two. Temporary. At 2:58 p.m., my phone lit up. Kong Taejun, asterisk Black Genesis. Driver's name is Hyunwoo. He'll carry your bag, asterisk. I looked out the window. The car was already there, hazard lights blinking once as if it sensed me watching. I went downstairs. Hyunwoo was young, polite, built like a linebacker. He took my bag without a word and opened the back door. Kong Taejun was inside, scrolling through a tablet, suit jacket off, tie loosened. He looked up when I slid in, eyes doing that slow scan again, like he was checking for new damage. You came, he said, as if there'd been any doubt. Didn't feel like I had a choice. He gave a small nod to Hyunwoo, and the car pulled away smoothly. You always have a choice, he said quietly. But some choices are stupid. Where are we going? My penthouse. Top 3 floors of Obsidian Tower. Private elevator, biometric security, my men on every entrance. No one gets in or out without my say. I swallowed. How long? Until the threat is gone. And when will that be? He met my eyes. When I decide. The drive was silent after that. Seoul blurred past familiar streets turning into the gleaming Gangnam skyline, then into the private driveway of a tower I'd only ever seen in magazines. Obsidian Tower. Black glass, sharp angles, impossible to see into from outside. The private elevator opened directly into the penthouse. I stepped out and stopped breathing for a second. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Han River. Minimalist everything, dark wood, black leather, accents in gunmetal and deep crimson. No clutter. No warmth. It looked like a gallery designed by someone who'd never needed comfort. A woman in a crisp uniform bowed. Welcome, Miss Seo. Your room is this way. My room. She led me down a hallway to a guest suite twice the size of my entire apartment. King bed, walk-in closet already stocked with women's clothes in my exact size. Casual, silk pajamas, even underwear. All brand new, tag still on. I turned to Taejun, who had followed silently. You went shopping? I had it handled. This is insane. He leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. You'll be comfortable here. I don't want to be comfortable in a cage. His jaw tightened. It's not a cage. You can leave anytime. But if you do, my protection ends. And they will find you. I hated how reasonable he made it sound. That evening he gave me space. I ate dinner alone in my room, another perfect meal delivered silently. I tried watching TV, but every channel felt distant, unreal. At 11 p.m., restless, I wandered out. The living room was dimly lit. Taejun stood at the window, shirt untucked, whiskey glass in hand, city lights reflecting in his eyes. Couldn't sleep? He asked without turning. How did you? I hear everything in this place. I walked closer, stopping a safe distance away. Why do you live like this? All alone in a fortress? He took a slow sip. Alone is safer. For who? For everyone. Silence stretched. Then he turned, setting the glass down. Come here. It wasn't a request. I don't know why I obeyed. Maybe exhaustion. Maybe something darker. He took my good hand gently, turning it palm up, tracing the faint lifeline with his thumb. You have small hands, he murmured. I snorted softly. Thanks. He didn't smile, but his eyes softened a fraction. I don't do this, he said suddenly. Do what? Bring people here. Ever. Then why me? He was quiet so long I thought he wouldn't answer. Because I want you here, he said finally, voice low. And I always get what I want. Heat flooded my cheeks. Danger and desire twisted together until I couldn't tell them apart. He released my hand but didn't step back. Tomorrow, he said, we're getting your caste situation handled better. Private clinic. Faster healing tech. And then you'll start learning what it means to be under my protection. I should have been terrified. Instead, I felt something reckless spark inside me. And what if I don't want to learn? His gaze dropped to my lips, then back up. You will, he said softly. Because you already texted me once. And deep down, you knew exactly what kind of man you were reaching for. He walked past me, close enough that his sleeve brushed my arm, leaving goosebumps in its wake. At my bedroom door he paused. "Good night, Seo-yun." I whispered it back before I could stop myself. That night, I dreamed of dragons, black scales, silver eyes, coiled around me not to trap, but to guard. When I woke up, there was a single white lily on my nightstand. No note. It didn't need one. The private clinic was hidden on the top floor of a nondescript building in Apgujeong, behind an unmarked steel door that only opened after a retinal scan. Taejun escorted me himself, his hand resting lightly at the small of my back the entire time, like he was claiming territory in front of the silent security team that trailed us. Inside, the place looked more like a luxury spa than a medical facility. Soft lighting, heated floors, the faint scent of eucalyptus. A specialist in regenerative orthopedics waited with a portable bone growth stimulator and a custom 3D printed brace that looked nothing like the bulky fiberglass cast I'd been wearing. 6 weeks reduced to 3, the doctor said, glancing nervously at Taejun. Possibly 2 with strict compliance. Taejun nodded once. That was all it took. While the new lightweight brace was fitted, sleek black carbon fiber with silver accents that somehow matched his aesthetic, I caught him watching me in the mirrored wall. Not the injury. The way my hair fell over one shoulder, the way I bit my lip when the device hummed against my skin. Heat crawled up my neck. I looked away first. In the car on the way back, he finally spoke. "You'll start physical therapy tomorrow. In-house therapist. Every day." "I have work," I said. "I've already missed too many days." "Work is handled." I turned sharply. "What does that mean?" "Your boss received an email from an anonymous donor offering to cover your full salary during medical leave. He accepted. You're on paid leave until further notice. You can't just..." "I can," he said calmly. And I did. I stared out the window, anger and something suspiciously like relief warring inside me. I hated how easy he made it to lean on him. Back at the penthouse, he led me not to my guest room, but to his office. A cavernous space with one glass wall overlooking the city and the rest lined in dark bookshelves. A massive desk dominated the center, but he didn't sit behind it. Instead, he pulled out a chair for me, then leaned against the desk edge, arms crossed. "We need rules," he said. "Rules. If you're staying here, and you are, there are conditions." I lifted my chin. "I'm listening." 1, he began, voice low and deliberate. "You don't leave this building without my knowledge and escort. Not negotiable. 2, you carry the phone I gave you at all times. Location sharing on. 3, you tell me immediately if anyone contacts you, Minho, his friends, even old classmates. No exceptions." I opened my mouth to protest, but he continued. 4, you eat properly, sleep properly, follow the doctor's orders. I will know if you don't. That's controlling, not protecting. His eyes darkened. 5, and this one you need to hear clearly, Seo-yun. He pushed off the desk, stepping close enough that I had to tilt my head back to hold his gaze. "No other men," he said quietly. "Not while you're under my roof. Not while you wear my brace, eat my food, sleep in my bed." "I'm not sleeping in your bed." "Or guest bed," he corrected smoothly. "No dates. No late night calls. No flirting with the staff. Nothing." Possessiveness rolled off him in waves. "And what do you get out of this?" I asked, voice steadier than I felt. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he reached out, brushing a strand of hair from my face with surprising gentleness. "I get peace of mind," he said finally. "And time." "Time for what?" "To make you want to stay." My breath caught. He stepped back, expression shuddered again. "Those are the rules. Break them, and there are consequences." "What kind of consequences?" Something dangerous flickered in his eyes. "You don't want to find out." That evening, I tested the boundaries. I tried to leave the penthouse floor using the regular elevator instead of the private one. The doors wouldn't open. A soft chime sounded, and Taejun's voice came through a hidden speaker. "Back to your room, soon." I tried ordering delivery from my favorite local teppanyaki place instead of eating the chef-prepared meal waiting for me. The order was cancelled before it could be confirmed. A text arrived seconds later. Asterisk dinner is on the table. Eat. Asterisk. By midnight, I was fuming. I marched to his office, door slightly ajar, lights spilling into the hallway. He was at his desk, sleeves rolled up, reviewing documents. A glass of whiskey sat untouched beside him. You're treating me like a prisoner, I accused from the doorway. He didn't look up. You're treating yourself like bait. I stepped inside. I'm grateful you helped me. Truly. But this, I gestured around the opulent cage. This isn't help. It's ownership. That got his attention. He set the pen down slowly. Come here. I stayed put. He stood, rounding the desk with that predator grace that made my pulse race against my will. When he reached me, he didn't touch me. Just stood close enough that I could smell his cologne, sandalwood and smoke. You think I want a prisoner? He asked softly. Then let me leave. I will, he said. The moment I know you'll be safe without me. But right now, you're a target. Minho's friends belong to a small gang in Mapo. They deal in revenge and pride. They won't stop. I swallowed. So I'm stuck here forever? No. His hand lifted, thumb brushing my lower lip once, barely contact, but it burned. Just until I end the threat. Permanently. The word hung heavy. You'd kill for me? I whispered. His eyes searched mine. I'd do worse than kill to keep you safe. Silence stretched, thick with tension. Then he stepped back. Go to bed, Seoyun. Therapy starts at 9. I turned to leave, but paused at the door. Taejun. He looked up. What if I said yes to the rules? I asked quietly. All of them. Willingly. Something raw flashed across his face. Hunger, restraint, triumph all at once. Then, he said, voice rough, we'd renegotiate Rule 5. My heart slammed against my ribs. Good night, I managed, fleeing before I did something stupid. In my room, I found a new addition on the nightstand, a small black velvet box. Inside, a delicate silver bracelet with a single charm, a tiny dragon coiled protectively around a white pearl. No note. But on the inside of the lid, engraved in tiny script, mine. I stared at it for a long time. Then, with trembling fingers, I fastened it around my good wrist. The metal was cool against my skin, but it warmed quickly, like a brand. The bracelet never left my wrist. I told myself it was because the clasp was tricky with one hand, but that was a lie. Every time the silver dragon caught the light, something low and warm twisted in my stomach, a reminder that I had said yes to his rules without ever speaking the word aloud. Physical therapy started the next morning in a private gym on the floor below the penthouse. The therapist, a no-nonsense woman named Coach Lee, put me through gentle range of motion exercises while Taejun watched from the doorway, arms folded, saying nothing. His presence made every stretch feel charged, like the air itself was heavier. By the end of the session, my arm ached in a good way, but my skin burned from the weight of his gaze. You did well, he said as we rode the elevator back up. Just that. But the approval in his voice slid over me like silk. That afternoon, he had meetings, Obsidian Group Bucines, and I was left alone in the vast penthouse for the first time. I wondered. Kitchen, living room, the rooftop garden with its heated glass dome in view of snow starting to dust the city. I found his library, floor-to-ceiling books, mostly in Korean and English, everything from Sun Tzu to modern finance to worn paperbacks of poetry. One shelf held framed photos, rare personal touches. A much younger Taejun in a school uniform, standing beside an older man with the same sharp jaw. His father, Prof. Another photo, Taejun in his 20s, arms around two other men in suits, all three laughing in front of a nightclub neon sign. On the back of the frame, in small handwriting, asterisk with Hyung and Minsuk. 2015, asterisk. I was still holding it when I heard footsteps behind me. Curious. His voice was soft, but I startled anyway. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's fine. He took the frame from my hands gently, fingers brushing mine. That's my older brother on the left. He died 6 years ago. Car accident. His tone was flat, but his thumb lingered on the glass over the smiling face. Min-suk runs the clubs now. I'm sorry, I said again, meaning it this time. He set the frame back exactly where it had been. Loss is part of the life. You learn to carry it. He didn't leave. Instead, he moved closer, crowding me against the bookshelf without touching. You've been good, he murmured. Following rules. Eating. Sleeping. The praise sent heat rushing through me. I'm trying. His eyes dropped to the bracelet, then to my mouth. Rule 5, he said quietly. Time to renegotiate. My breath hitched. How? He lifted my good hand, the one wearing his bracelet, and turned it palm up, tracing the veins on my wrist with one fingertip. Slow. Deliberate. I want to touch you, he said. And I want you to let me. No pressure. No expectation beyond that. But if you say yes, I won't stop at hands. The words hung between us, raw and honest. I should have said no. Should have reminded him I was here under duress, that this was Stockholm Syndrome wrapped in luxury. Instead, I heard myself whisper, yes. Something fierce flashed across his face. Then he moved, slow enough that I could stop him, but I didn't. His hand slid up my arm, careful of the brace, until he cupped my jaw. Thumb stroking my cheekbone. He leaned in, not kissing yet, just breathing me in. You smell like the rooftop lilies, he said against my temple. Then his mouth found mine. It wasn't gentle. It was months, years, of restraint breaking open. His lips firm, demanding, coaxing mine apart until I opened for him with a soft sound I didn't recognize as my own. One hand stayed at my face, the other settled at my waist, pulling me flush against him. I felt everything, the hard lines of his body, the expensive fabric of his shirt under my fingers, the way he angled his head to deepen the kiss like he was claiming every corner of my mouth. When he finally pulled back, we were both breathing hard. "Seo-yun," he said, voice rough. "Look at me." I did. "If you want to stop, say it now. Otherwise, I'm taking you to my bed." The choice was mine. Real this time. I didn't speak. I just rose on my toes and kissed him again. Smaller, softer, but deliberate. He groaned low in his throat and lifted me effortlessly, my legs wrapping around his waist instinctively. The brace made it awkward, but he adjusted without breaking the kiss, carrying me out of the library and down the hall to the double doors I'd never seen open. His bedroom was darker than the rest of the penthouse. Deep grays, low lighting, a bed big enough for sins I'd only read about. He set me down on the edge gently, kneeling to remove my shoes, then his own. Every movement deliberate, giving me time. When he straightened, he started unbuttoning his shirt. I watched, mesmerized, as ink was revealed, full sleeves flowing into a massive dragon across his chest, scales in black and crimson, eyes the same silver as my bracelet. The tail curled down over defined abs and disappeared beneath his belt. He saw me staring. "Traditional," he said simply. "Done over years. Each part means something." "It's beautiful," I breathed. "Just small. You're beautiful." Then he was over me, kissing me again, slower now. Hands careful around the brace as he peeled away layers. My sweater, my jeans, until I was in just underwear and the bracelet. He paused, eyes roaming. "Tell me if anything hurts the arm." I nodded, throat tight. He touched me like I was something priceless, lips on my collarbone, fingers tracing ribs, mouth closing over one breast through lace until I arched with a gasp. Every caress deliberate, building heat until I was trembling. When his hands slid between my thighs, I was already wet. He groaned against my neck. "So ready for me." He brought me over the edge with just his fingers and mouth, watching my face the entire time like he was memorizing every reaction. After, he held me against his chest, my braced arm tucked safely between us. "I should have done that the first night," he murmured into my hair. I laughed softly. I would have run screaming. "Maybe." His fingers traced lazy patterns on my back. "But you didn't run tonight." I didn't. We dozed, tangled together. I woke hours later to my phone buzzing on the nightstand. Taejun reached over me to grab it, frowning at the screen. Unknown number. Text. Asterisk, tell your new dog we're coming for what's ours. Tonight. Asterisk. His entire body went rigid. He sat up, already reaching for his pants. Stay here, he ordered, voice ice cold. Lock the door behind me. What's happening? They found the tower. He pulled a gun from a hidden drawer, matte black, professional. My men are ready. But I need you safe. Fear clawed up my throat. Taejun. He cupped my face hard, kissed me once, fierce and brief. I'll come back, he promised. And when I do, this ends. Then he was gone. I sat frozen on his bed, naked except for the bracelet and the brace, listening to the elevator chime as it descended. Minutes later, the lights in the penthouse flickered once. Then gunfire echoed from far below, muffled but unmistakable. I pulled the sheets around me and waited, heart pounding, praying the dragon would return. The gunfire stopped as suddenly as it had started. Silence pressed against my ears, heavier than the shots had been. I sat on the edge of Taejun's bed, sheet clutched to my chest, staring at the locked door. Every second stretched into eternity. Then the elevator chimed. Footsteps, measured, unhurried, came down the hall. A soft knock. Seo-yun. Open the door. His voice. Steady. Alive. I flew across the room, fumbling the lock with my good hand. The door swung open and there he was, not a scratch on him, suit jacket gone, white shirt splattered with a few dark drops that weren't his. His hair was slightly disheveled, the only sign anything had happened at all. Relief hit me so hard my knees buckled. He caught me instantly, arms banding around me like steel. I told you I'd come back, he murmured into my hair. I clung to him, face pressed to his chest, breathing him in, smoke, cologne, and something metallic. I heard guns. For men, he said quietly. Minho's friends. They bribed a maintenance worker for roof access. Thought they could rappel down to the balcony. A humorless huff. They were wrong. Are they? In custody. Then they'll disappear. His hand stroked my back, slow and soothing. It's over. I pulled back just enough to look at him. Over. He nodded once. The gang they ran with will get the message tonight. No one touches what's mine. This time, the word didn't scare me. It settled warm and solid in my chest. He glanced down at my sheet-wrapped state, eyes darkening. You're cold. Before I could answer, he lifted me again, carrying me back to the bed. But this time he didn't set me down and leave. He toed off his shoes, shrugged out of the ruined shirt, and climbed in beside me, pulling me against the bare, inked expanse of his chest. I traced the dragon scales with trembling fingers. I was terrified, I admitted. I know. He kissed my temple. But you stayed. You trusted me to handle it. I did. He tilted my chin up, eyes searching mine in the low light. And now? I didn't hesitate. Now I don't want to leave. A slow breath left him. Relief, triumph, something deeper. He kissed me then, soft at first, then deeper, hungrier, until the sheet fell away and we were skin to skin. This time there was no careful restraint. He mapped every inch of me with hands and mouth, whispering my name like a prayer when I arched beneath him. When he finally slid inside me, it felt inevitable, like every moment since that wrong text had been leading here. We moved together slowly, then urgently, my good hand tangled in his hair, his fingers laced with the ones on my braced arm. He watched my face the whole time, like he couldn't believe I was real. After we lay tangled, sweat cooling, heart slowing. He spoke first, voice rough. Stay. I am staying. No. He propped himself on an elbow, looking down at me with an intensity that stole my breath. Stay forever. Not because you have to. Because you want to. I reached up, touching the scar through his eyebrow. I want to. His eyes closed for a moment, like he was savoring the words. Then marry me. I froze. He opened his eyes again, utterly serious. I know it's fast. I know my world is dangerous. But I also know I've never wanted anything, anyone, the way I want you. I don't care about time. I care about you never leaving this bed, this life me. Tears pricked my eyes. Say yes, Seo-yun, he whispered. Let me put my ring on your finger the way I put my bracelet on your wrist. Let the whole city know you're the only thing that ever made the black dragon kneel. I laughed through the tears. You're not kneeling. In one fluid motion, he slid from the bed, naked and unself-conscious, and dropped to one knee beside it. He took my hand, the one with the silver dragon bracelet, and pressed his lips to my knuckles. Marry me. Yes, I said, voice breaking. God, yes. He surged up, kissing me until I was dizzy, then reached for the nightstand drawer. Inside was a black velvet box I hadn't noticed before. He opened it. A ring, platinum band, a rare black diamond center stone flanked by two smaller white ones, the setting shaped like delicate dragon wings cradling the gems. I had it made the day you put on the bracelet, he admitted. Hoped I wouldn't have to wait long. He slid it onto my finger. Perfect fit. I stared at it, then at him. You were that sure? No, he said quietly. I was that desperate. We made love again, slower this time, sealing something deeper than bodies. When we finally slept, his arm was locked around me, my head on his chest over the heart that now beat for me. Morning light filtered through the windows when I woke. Taejun was already awake, watching me. Morning, fiancé. I smiled, stretching carefully around the brace. Morning, future husband. He kissed me lazily, then reached for his phone. Typed something one-handed. What are you doing? Canceling my day. And the next. And the one after that. I laughed. You can't just. I can. He tossed the phone aside and rolled me beneath him. The city can wait. My men can handle cleanup. Right now, the only thing that matters is you. Tplug. 6 months later. The brace was long gone. My arm healed perfectly under Taejun's relentless care. We married in a small ceremony on the rooftop garden. Just Jiun, Min-suk, a few trusted lieutenants, and the city lights as witnesses. I wore white silk, he wore black. The dragon ring on my finger caught the moonlight when we exchanged vows. Minho and his friends were never heard from again. The Mapo gang dissolved quietly overnight. Obsidian Group grew stronger, but Taejun stepped back from the sharpest edges, delegating the bloodier work. He said he had something more important to protect now. We still lived in the penthouse, though he'd added warmth, books I loved on the shelves, lilies in every room, a second closet slowly filling with my things. Some nights, I'd wake to find him watching me sleep, fingers tracing the ring on my hand. What are you thinking? I'd whisper. That I still can't believe you texted the wrong number, he'd answer, pulling me close. Best mistake of my life. And I'd smile, pressing my lips to the dragon over his heart. Mine too. Because sometimes, the most dangerous messages lead to the safest arms. And I had found forever in the embrace of the black dragon. Thank you for watching, everyone. I also want to hear your thoughts about this story, and as you do so, don't forget to subscribe, like and share for more amazing BL stories.